Today's video is going to be a little bit different from my usual content, but I hope that some of you share the same sentiment that I do, whether it's about New World or another game that you deeply care about. I've been following New World for over 5 years now. I remember first hearing about it back in 2019, thinking it sounded like something worth keeping an eye on. Then came the announcement trailer at the Game Awards that same year, and I was hooked instantly. I immediately went to their website to learn more, eager to absorb every piece of information I could find. I even remember sitting in class in early 2020, reading through the latest news updates, fascinated by features like settlements, governance, which I still have yet to achieve, player housing, and factions, elements that would eventually define New World as we know it today. I was so eager to play that I even played the alpha on a laptop in a McDonald's while on a family trip, because that was the only time I'd have a chance to experience the game. Then came September 2021, the official release. I remember rushing home in the middle of my school day just to log in. The excitement was unreal. Finally, I could progress in the game without worrying about wipes like in the alpha or beta tests. At launch, the game saw an all-time peak of over 900,000 players, a number that seemed insane at the time, but also introduced immediate problems, as many of you know. If you're unfamiliar with New World's history, I've covered it extensively in previous videos. Links are in the description down below. Despite long queue times and early issues, I kept playing. I watched as my friends dropped off, some returning weeks or months later only to leave again. But for me, New World became one of my forever games. I know that's a controversial statement, but it's the truth. Another game that holds that status for me is No Man's Sky. I followed it since its 2013 announcement. We all know how rough its launch was, but today it stands as one of gaming's greatest comeback stories. And if you're interested, I've made a video on that as well. I see New World in a similar light. It has shown glimpses of being another great comeback story. Updates like Brimstone Sands, the Elysian Wilds expansion, and New World Aeternum have all felt like potential turning points. But what I often fail to remember is that this is an MMO. Hardcore players will always return for updates, experience the new content, and then move on. That's completely understandable. No one wants to replay the same content unless there's a compelling reason or incentive. For me, New World is a forever game in a slightly different sense. When most people think of a forever game, they picture something with constant updates, fresh content, and an engaged community. For some, that's Call of Duty, 2K, or Madden, games that release new versions every year with tweaks and improvements, but remain familiar and comfortable. I put over 800 hours into New World across alpha, beta, preview, PTR, and the full release. Some might say that's not much, but I wouldn't call myself a hardcore player. I play frequently, but I also take breaks, sometimes for days, weeks, or even months. I don't chase the meta, I rarely PvP, and I don't stress over min-maxing my build. I just play in a way that feels enjoyable to me. I know many players care about balance changes, nerfs, and buffs, and that's valid. Nobody wants to play an unbalanced game. The real issue, though, is that New World has always had so much potential, yet it often feels like that potential goes untapped. Like any studio, New World's developers have strengths and weaknesses. Some people believe they don't care about the game, but if that were true, we wouldn't still be getting updates. If they truly didn't care, the game would have shut down in August when the player count hit just 3,000 players. But here we are with an average of around 10,000 players on Steam, and who knows how many on console. The game is far from dead. The introduction of PvP servers is a cool concept, though opinions are mixed on whether they hit the mark or not. PvE content hasn't seen massive changes lately, but even after 800 hours, I still have things left to do. I usually play solo since most of my friends have moved on from the game, but that hasn't stopped me from enjoying the game. And for those who still bring up complaints from 4 years ago, many of those issues have been addressed. The walking simulator problem? Shrines have been added to almost every region, and teleportation costs are significantly lower. No mounts? They've been added, albeit behind an expansion paywall, but that expansion in a bundle goes on sale regularly for the same price or cheaper than the base game at launch. No endgame? They've added 6 expeditions, multiple trials like the Sandworm trial, the Hive of Gorgons raid. There's plenty of content now, even though it seems like there's never enough. But that's just the nature of MMOs. I take my time with the game, focusing on things like trade skills and achievements just because I enjoy those things. My gear score is maxed, though my setup might not follow any specific build, but if I ever need to optimize my build, I can. I really just wanted to share my thoughts on this because it's something that's been on my mind for a long time. I genuinely want New World to succeed, not just survive, but thrive. You can grill me all you want for still playing, but at the end of the day, it's what I enjoy. And I hope others feel the same way about New World or whatever game they're passionate about. So what's that game for you? Is it New World or something else entirely? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, or if you're interested in more New World content, consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon so you don't miss any future uploads. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.